Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're hanging out with me today because we're going to unpack a seriously heartwarming story. It's called Leo and the Guardian of the Wind Crystal. If you're into grand, sky-high adventures packed with some real emotional punch, you are in for an absolute treat. We're going to break down the whole shebang, the narrative beats, the visual magic, and the ultimate moral of the story. So let's jump right in, shall we?
All right, to get us in the right headspace, I want you to think about a pretty big, imaginative question. Have you ever actually wondered where the wind comes from? You know, that invisible force that rustles the leaves, sends our kites flying, or just cools us down on a sweltering summer day. It's kind of fun to get back into that mindset of childlike curiosity, right? And honestly, it's the perfect starting point for the magical journey we're about to take.
Part 1. The Magic Crystal Kite and Sunny Hills.
So our story kicks off with this cheerful little kid named Leo. He lives in this vibrant village called Sunny Hills. And Leo, well, he is absolutely obsessed with flying kites. Like every single afternoon, he's out there running across these rolling green hills, just watching his kites dance up in the clouds. But on one particularly breezy day, while he's exploring this hidden meadow way off his usual path, something catches his eye down in the grass. And it is definitely not your run-of-the-mill toy. It's a shimmering, rainbow-colored crystal kite. I mean, it literally looks like it's glowing from the inside out with its own magical light.
Talk about a classic call to adventure. Attached to this glowing kite is a silver ribbon, and it has this super specific message written right on it. Follow the wind, and adventure will find you. Now, Leo, being the curious and brave kid he is, grabs onto that string tight. And then, bam! A sudden, powerful, but kind of gentle whoosh of wind grabs the kite and physically lifts Leo high into the sky. He is literally pulled right into the adventure. No turning back now.
Moving on to Section 2. The Floating Wind Kingdom.
So Leo is soaring way up above the clouds and mountains until he lands in this incredible floating new world. And it is absolutely breathtaking. But there's a really stark contrast here between this gorgeous scenery and a pretty dark reality. See, you've got these majestic floating windmills spinning in the clouds and crystal airships just drifting by. But then a friendly hummingbird named Zephyr flutters over to Leo with some super urgent news. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. The magical winds, they're actually getting weaker. The whole kingdom is in grave danger.
And the stakes here? They seriously couldn't be higher. Zephyr explains that the legendary wind crystal has completely vanished. Now, why does that matter? Well, this crystal is the one and only source that powers every single breeze, gust, and gentle wind in the entire kingdom. It's like the battery for the whole place. Without this gem, the majestic wind kingdom is literally going to lose its magic and plummet right out of the sky. As soon as Leo hears this, he just knows he has to step up and help.
Section 3. The Quest for the Crystal.
Now, as we all know, no hero completes an epic quest totally solo, right? And Leo is no exception. Along the way, he puts together this amazing, diverse squad to help him out. We've got Breezy the Sky Fox, Storm the Eagle, and Whirl the Wind Rabbit. Together, they start following this mysterious trail of glowing feathers, pooling all their unique skills to track down that missing crystal.
And let me tell you, this quest wasn't just a walk in the park. They had to navigate a seriously epic physical journey across all these magical landscapes. First up, they carefully cross the delicate Bridge of Breezes. Then, they have to weave their way through the deep, winding cloud canyons. After that, they actually sail aboard these flying wind ships right across the sky sea. I mean, how cool is that? Finally, this wild journey drops them right at their ultimate destination, the super intimidating Tower of Storms.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Misunderstood Guardian.
Okay, so after all that intense buildup, you'd probably expect a team to burst in and face off against some terrifying mustache-twirling villain, right? Or maybe a greedy thief. But the reality is completely different. When they finally reach the very top of the tower, they do find the missing wind crystal, but it wasn't stolen out of greed or malice. Nope. Instead, they find Gale. And Gale is just this shy, sad little griffin who's sitting up there, quietly protecting the crystal.
This right here is the absolute emotional core of our explainer. Gale looks at the group, clearly super sad, and makes this incredibly vulnerable admission. He says, "I borrowed the crystal because I wanted everyone to think I was important." Wow, right? He isn't a bad guy at all. He's just lonely and insecure. He genuinely thought that if he held on to the most important object in the whole kingdom, he would finally matter to the people around him. It's just such a profound, honest moment.
And here's the best part.
Instead of getting angry, the team reacts with just pure kindness. They don't yell at him or attack him. Actually, scratch that. They do the exact opposite. Leo smiles and tells him, "You were important all along." Breezy the Fox chimes in with, "You don't need magic to matter." Storm the Eagle tells Gale they already look up to him. And Whirl the Rabbit bounces over and adds, "And we'd love to be your friend." They basically just shower this lonely little griffin with the exact reassurance and connection he was desperately looking for. And you can just see Gale's eyes completely light up with happiness.
And finally, Section 5, the true meaning of magic. So, teaming up with their brand new friend Gale, the crew brings the wind crystal back home. And the very second, literally the moment that crystal touches down on its golden pedestal, there's this massive, ground-shaking boom. A magnificent surge of magical energy just erupts outward, instantly bringing the kingdom's failing winds right back to life. In the immediate aftermath, the whole kingdom is completely restored, and it is sparkling brighter than ever. You've got these powerful winds swirling through the sky again, the windmills are happily spinning away, the crystal airships are sailing, the clouds are dancing, it's a whole vibe. And to celebrate their success and the fact that their home is safe, everyone in the kingdom throws this massive joyful party called the Great Festival of Winds.
But, as all grand adventures must, Leo's time up in the clouds eventually comes to an end. The very next morning, he wakes up in his own bed back in Sunny Hills. For a second, he looks around his totally normal room and thinks, wait, was that all just a crazy dream? But then, he glances over at his kite string, and tied right there to the string is a tiny, softly glowing crystal feather. It's physical proof. Leo just smiles, knowing for sure that the Wind Kingdom was absolutely real and that somewhere up there beyond the clouds, his friends are waiting for their next big adventure.
As we wrap up our explainer today, let's really think about the ultimate moral of this beautiful little fable. Leo and the Guardian of the Wind Crystal teaches us a pretty crucial lesson. You don't need special powers, crazy magic, or some grand treasure to be important. Gale thought he needed the crystal, but he totally didn't. What really makes you special, what actually makes you matter in this world, is simply being kind, being helpful, and being a good friend to others.
So that brings us to the end of today's explainer. But before we go, I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. How will you use the magic of kindness today? I mean, sure, we might not have a magical wind crystal or flying airships, but we absolutely all have the power to make someone else feel important and valued, just like Leo did for Gale. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to unpack this wonderful story. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I will catch you in the next.
For more interesting videos, subscribe our YouTube channel